My name's Mark and welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. So we've had some changes happen in the, well, today. We're supposed to have our pond started, so we've got a contractor coming in to do some work on the pond, but unfortunately he has a funeral to go to. So he said it's going to be another 10 days before he can get to it. So I took a week and a half off work to help out with that, so I'll likely be going back to work next week. But I've got a few other projects that I need to take care of. So this area here in the front, the sheep and the goats are mowing because this was the area that we were going to contain them while we were doing work around the pond area. These kids really love the stone wall that we actually have to finish, which is another project, but it's probably a little wet right now to carry on that. And we have the sheep and Lucy, Blackie, even the ducks are in here. And Coco, just chewing her cud. So what they do is, I've talked about this in other episodes, goats and sheep, they will eat and get their fill and put it into their chambered stomach. And then what'll happen is when they're done with that, they'll lie down, just like Coco's doing here, and chew their cud. So burp up their food, and their stomach works as a filtration system. So whatever they eat, they will, whatever won't go down into the next chamber, what'll happen is they will burp it up, they will reprocess it, chew it down, and then it'll work its way through their stomach system. Now, we have built our area here to, over the years, of course, we started off with a smaller area, but we've built in the front section. That's where our goat yoga takes place. And then we have the back section, which is essentially our dog run area. And then we have our main compound and our back area, which we are going to be doing the fence. So last year we had lost a kid goat, Lenora, because the fencing that's back there is, I don't know, they call it cow fencing, I think. There's a bunch of different types of fencing. Barbed wire can be cow fencing. But it's larger openings. So they're about, I don't know, 1.5 feet, 16 inches by about 8 inches tall. And Lenora was able to squeeze through there and get back on the tracks. So what we're going to do is, since then, we've shut down that back area. It's starting to grow up nicely in the green. So I'm going to head back there and start doing some removal of the smaller underbrush and plans to get some posts in and get some proper fencing in. Fencing very similar to this here, which is poles. This is just stucco wiring on here, and then we've got these 3 boards. So the top and bottom boards for stability of the wire, and this center board here is about the perfect height for the goat when they go and they scratch up against here. Without that board, or if it was higher, they would bow out the bottom section. So it's worked very well in what we're using it for and the size of our animals. These are, I believe, 8 feet apart. I think we're going to go 10 feet on the back. All right, so we're loading up the animals. There's Sheldon in his little container. Hey, buddy. Hi. You going to see some kids? And, of course, Fernando. He's got the back seat. Close him in there. And we have 3 of the kids. Four of the kids. Right, 4 of the kids back in there. We've got Atlas, Zeus, and Apollo, the mini gods. And then we have some rabbits and some young chickens, and of course Hi and Guys, which were a couple that came in a few months back, and they had names, but the lady kept on saying hi guys, and that's what they refer to themselves as, is the Hi Guys. All right, so there we go, our new decal on the back. So we put that on, and then of course we put on these decals here because we just had this decal on, and that doesn't tell what we are about. So I went and I ordered these ones here as well. All right, you're off.
Bye.
Bye. I'll just be working in the back. Have fun.
Say bye, Fernando.
This deck has on top of the beams, it's a great place for birds to nest. Here is a little bit of stuffing here, nesting material. And I did do a, see there's one up there. There's quite a few of them around. I did do, 2 years ago, I hooked up a GoPro. And I know there is one active nest. And it is over on this side. And we'll probably see the bird fly off as I approach. Of course, I'm being pretty loud. No, don't see. Now, of course, the dogs up top go crazy when they... Okay, so this nest right here, of course, I don't hear anything going on in there. I'm going to actually take my phone, because I won't be able to see it otherwise. And... all right. Oh, look at that. There is some babies there. I don't know how well you can see that, if it's blurry or not. But there we go. We got some fuzzy little things. So it only takes them 7 days. You can hear and see her. She is that one right over there. And she is a North American flycatcher. So I don't know if they come back to the same grounds or not, but she's just kind of making some noise. So that's that nest there. Now there is a couple more robins that I saw. Now if I quietly go around the corner, about halfway, there is another nest. Where is it? Where? Oh, maybe it's a little further down than I thought. Whoop, there it is. Oh boy, that scared me. I didn't actually see the nest because it's tucked in around the corner here. Okay. So, oh yeah, and looks like there's two in there. Let's see here. Yeah, I can kind of see in the screen. So, yeah, there's two in there. And I think, who else do we have? So that's a robin. See, look at all these nests. Oh, there's some older ones there. Okay, I'm not going to get too close. Those ones are actually ready for fledging, or close to it anyway. So there they are, sticking out of the nest. Alright, so I'll leave those ones alone. Those look like robins as well. So I don't want to spook them. I don't really see too much in there. But lots of, you can see how they're sheltered, and they have a really nice area underneath the deck if there's no humans bothering them. And what do we have here? Half of these are probably abandoned. Yeah, that one's got nothing in it. So it's pretty interesting. If you want to check that video that I took, I think it's named 14 Flycatcher, 14 days from egg to fledge, something to that effect. I'll put the link up top on in the card. So that's exciting. So maybe what I'll do is I'll check in on those next week if they're still there, because they 14 days. You know, they're hatched and gone, so they might even be gone by next weekend. But I thought that would be something interesting that you would like to see. I was going to head to the back and show you the back fence line, but I figured I would show you this area in here, which is the pond area. Got a couple Muscovy ducks sitting here. So you can see all the kids and goats over in this area. So this is the gate that opens up into the dog run. Now we've cleared away this area. It's looking much better than it did. We've piled the wood up here in piles for wildlife and just to get rid of it. We have a burn ban on at the moment. Plus this stuff isn't great for burning in a wood burning stove. My father used to call it gopher wood. It's just dry rotted and it's like really light stuff, and it's just not that great. So this area here will have to wait. We had our pump in here, and that's about where we're sitting right now. So that's just going to have to wait for the time being. But what I'm planning on getting here is this. These tools that get left out in the rain. This here is a willow tree, which we planted in memory of somebody, a family friend. And we put up these panels here to protect the young tree from the hungry goats. So that'll be nice moving into the future, having that draped over in the background, a nice big willow tree, which is the same tree as this one right here. No, not that one. It's actually behind that one. The one over in Sheldon's pen. Sheldon is actually heading out to a school this afternoon as part of a little petting farm. And something that I'll show you on while I take a walk to the back here is Sheldon actually went into a school. I guess I'm not sure when Wee Day is. I think it's in June, but the school's doing a fundraiser for Wee Day for some kind of event. And they requested that a goat be taken there because the principal, I don't know what it was, lost a bet or had to donate or something to that effect, but she had to kiss a goat. So we thought, well, they were probably expecting a large stinky goat like Carl, but what they ended up getting was little baby Sheldon. So there was quite an uproar at the school with that. So I'll cut to that clip right now.
So Sheldon is passed out sleeping before we head in and
Going to school for Wee Day.
just passed out.
We're gonna make a teacher or principal kiss a goat.
That'll be fun.
I think he's gonna be surprised that it's a little baby.
Wonder what the kids are gonna do.
We had to hide her.
Okay, he stopped in a lip.
That's funny.
Oh, it's still going.
That's funny.
It's still kind of half up. Oh, he's done.
Snoring.
for those of you who haven't been with this channel or haven't watched this channel or previous videos, Sheldon was born this spring with a neurological disorder. So we had 8 kids born. Sheldon was a triplet, a male triplet who just couldn't stand, and the vet gave him a 0% chance of survival. We bottle fed him, and he's doing great. You know, he's doing wonderful. He's, you know, a little goofy at times, but you know, he's enjoying life and loving it, and a little tail wagging. Okay, so now I'm at the back of the property here, and our property line actually goes over. There's an area in here that has some rubble. I don't know if it was just like a dump site of some concrete blocks and some metal. It almost looked it could have been an old foundation or something, but who knows? So we're gonna have to do some more exploring back there in the future. Our property goes over probably another 60 feet, 70 feet from here along this back. And we have just put this electric fence because this was kind of a natural opening when we bought the property. So we just ran it along here, allowing the animals to come in this area. And this is just future work. So that's something we're gonna work on. So I'm gonna plan the fence around that. We're not gonna put the permanent fence in this area. So what we're going to do is we're gonna start at the back here. And this is the fencing that we have at the back. And you can see that opening is quite large. So it's a wider mesh, and the young goats can scoot through there. So we're probably going to start from this end, well, or the other end, but we're going to come to around this area here to tie into this. And it's just all this small stuff along the fence that we want to get rid of. Now, instead of removing this old fence and creating a lot more work for us, I think what we're going to do is we're going to come in probably about 3 feet, and we're going to build the permanent fence 3 feet inside the property line, just to make it that much easier. And it's just an added barrier here as well for any predators that come through. So there's quite a bit of small stuff. There are some larger trees here. We want to try to keep the oaks intact. So we want to come in a little bit further than that. And then there's a couple trees that are also down further that are oaks as well. So the oaks tend to work a little bit better and last a little bit longer than all of the these poplar. So there's a clear example right there. A dead poplar tree that's you know, not doing too good. It's not it's dead, and it's being ravished by birds, and it's just rotten. So, and here's a top of this one here that fell off. So that's what it looks like back here. There's a beautiful oak right here. That would have made maybe a pretty good tree fort to build something in that tree, which that was something that our son Braxton wanted when he was younger. He wanted a tree fort. And I said, well, we don't really have, you know, you don't want to really build on a poplar because they just, they'll just break and fall over and it'll be done with. So that's it. So I'm going to get on this project here, and then I can give you maybe an update next weekend on how that's coming along. I'm going to be back to work next week, so we'll plug away at this for a bit and then maybe finish it off in a couple weeks kind of thing. That's it. I'm not going to do a time lapse or anything on here because you don't need to see me just cutting twigs. Hi, Manya. How's Molly doing? Hey, Molly. So Molly and Mom, Manya, are doing great. And, of course, little Billy. So she is now about 4 weeks old. Getting up in age, and look at the size of her compared to her mom. She's almost as tall as her mom, right, Carl? Yeah. Now, some of you had asked in the comments, wonderful comments, thank you for commenting, and if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below, about our ponies. So we've got the 2 ponies, and the one miniature horse, Levi. Now Levi got gelded 2 weeks ago now. One of the questions was about moving Levi into this pen, having all of them into this pen. And my phone is ringing, so I will just cancel that. You guys are more important than a phone call. So having them move down to here, why don't we move all 5 of them together? So we don't, and I touched on this last video, just because we wanted to get them all settled, everybody settled. But the other reason, which I failed to mention in last video, was Levi is gelded, and apparently it requires a 30-day grace period before he is then unfertile. So of course we would hate for him to get in here and have his way with Manya over here, because Manya doesn't need any more of that moving forward. So that's yet another reason. And that's it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and we will see you next video. Take care. Bye-bye.